I love you, Bear. I'm so proud of you. Oh, I said I wasn't gonna cry.
Still don't understand stuff.
Even though I'm in the Amazon rainforest right now, this is not where my story begins. And I'm making this video now because I know that there's somebody out there that wants to make the world a better place. There's somebody out there who wants to work in wildlife conservation or just do anything to help people. And I'm here to tell you that no matter what it feels like, you can make that difference. I know that the weight of these problems feel crushing. But the fact is, you aren't alone. I'm here to share my story because there were so many times in which I wish that somebody was able to share their story with me or give me mentorship and tell me what I needed to do, how I could start this process. I'm at the beginning of my career, and I want to show people the journey and what it takes to get to a point where you are in a position where you are helping people, you're helping wildlife, you're working in wildlife conservation. I want to start off by saying that I don't want people to feel discouraged when they hear my story because this is something that I've lived my entire life. When I was 10 years old, like most kids, I would sell lemonade. But what I would do is I would donate all the money to wildlife conservation. And I kept doing this, and I actually got other kids involved in this process. And we actually ended up raising a lot of money, and we ended up raising over $1,000. And it had gone to organizations like the WWF and the Red Panda Network. And these are both organizations that do absolutely amazing work in wildlife conservation. So my passion just continued. But I got to an age where I wasn't as cute anymore, couldn't sell lemonade. But I continued to work with wildlife, and I had animals of my own, and I was keeping animals, and I was getting into breeding animals, and then I basically begged for years to work at this reptile breeding facility that was very close to my house. And I just begged and begged and begged, and then I finally got the opportunity. And I worked really hard. I would go to school, I would leave, I would do my shift, and then I would volunteer my time there, and I would try to gain as much experience as possible with animals, so mostly reptiles. And I would then go home and I would take care of the animals of my own. And I started getting more animals with time, and I would end up keeping a lot of very rare species because I really believed in trying to breed rare species for preservation in captivity. But after a while, I just didn't find the same value in working with animals in captivity. And I had been working with animals, I would say professionally, for about 2 years, and I just felt like I was losing sight of what my goals were. Like, I wanted to be a wildlife conservationist. I didn't want to just work with animals in captivity. And as much as it is amazing to work very hands-on with these animals, it's just not what I felt that I needed to do to make a difference. I ended up leaving that job, and after a while I started selling my animals, and it was not an easy thing for me. And I ended up using the money that I had from from selling my animals, and as well as the last money I had from that job, to buy a camera. And that's when I actually started getting into wildlife photography and filmmaking. And the value that I got out of doing filmmaking and just trying to go out and find wildlife was unbelievably important to me, and it gave me such a deep appreciation for the wildlife in my own home. I really struggled for a long time because I just felt really stuck. And even in addition to doing all the work I've done trying to do wildlife photography and filmmaking, it just never filled the desire I had. And up until this point, I didn't really realize how much I was holding on to emotionally and how much I had to get over. And wildlife photography and spending time in the mountains really helped me, and that gave me the drive to work hard to actually graduate early. And I ended up taking community college classes while I was in high school, and that gave me enough credit to graduate early. The first opportunity I could have had to leave home, I just did. I sold everything. As I said, I sold my animals, which just broke my heart. And I left home, I came here, and I did this internship. And I spent 2 months here. With the skills I learned from this internship, I'm going to use them to help wildlife and also continue my career in working with wildlife. And no matter what I do, once I come home, I'm going to continue to try to help wildlife and help raise awareness for wildlife conservation issues. There's so much more to be done, and this is only the start. It's not just the start for me, but it's the start for you. Whoever's watching this video, I know there are people here to just hear my story, but I know that there's somebody out there watching this video that wants to make a difference for wildlife conservation or live this career. And I'm telling you, if you're watching this video, you're young and you want to make a difference, it's just the start. And if you take the steps to help wildlife and advocate for these issues, even if it's a small change, you will make a change. I hope me sharing my story with you gives you any inspiration at all to continue to work in wildlife conservation. Because now more than ever, wildlife needs help. And every person that makes a small impact works towards the bigger goal. We need to work together to finally make a difference for wildlife where it counts.